All right, hello class. I'm Mrs. Jones, and you are either in my 11th grade or my 9th grade English class. This video is going to be very long, probably one of the longest ones that I do all year, and it basically covers all of that stuff that your teacher usually goes over on the first day of class. I'll be going over course expectations, course objectives, late work policies, grading policies. I'll be going over Canvas and I'll be showing you how that works. And we're just going to do all that introductory stuff that you would usually do on the first day of class. The only difference is that I get to record this just once and send it to all my classes, and I don't have to stand on my feet all day. So I'm seeing that as a positive. Moving forward, I'm really excited to get to know you all. I'm really excited to know what your interests are, what motivates you. You guys are part of this amazing elite group of my students, and you guys are going to go out into the world one day and completely rock it and change it for the better. And I'm really excited about all the potential that I see in you guys, and I'm really excited to be able to brag about you in the future and tell everybody that you were in my class, because I can already tell you're going to be awesome. So let's go ahead and get started here. All right, you should be able to see me here in the bottom. All right, so this is just the basic getting to know your teacher first day of school stuff. Hello, I'm Mrs. Jones. So this year at Arvin, I'm teaching 9th and 11th grade. I've lived in Bakersfield my entire life, and I still live in Bakersfield. And under regular circumstances, I would be driving out to Arvin and commuting on my way to school. But because of distance learning, I get to hang out here in my comfortable home office. So I have been teaching for quite a while, although this is only my this is my 4th year as a credentialed teacher. I have been in the classroom since 2014. Okay. Oh, guys, we already have one of my pets interrupting a video. Like, what has it been, like 3 minutes? Come here. Come here. Did you see that he just opened the door on his own here? We'll go ahead and start with this introduction right here. This is Bailey. Hi, Bailey. Hi, Bailey. He likes to sit on my desk, especially when I'm teaching, so that's where I'm going to put him here in just a second. This is Bailey. He's the cat that I have that only has 3 feet. You can kind of see he's missing. He's got a little stump there. We don't really know how that happened. We got him with only 3 feet. The vet thinks he was born without it or something. So yeah, this is Bailey. He's going to be helping me out. Again, say hello, Bailey. Hi. Okay. I'm going to put him on the desk. All right, so I'm going to be starting off this with a quote that means a lot to me. This is by Carl Jung. In all chaos, there is cosmos. In all disorder, a secret order. And I feel like this is a really strong quote to start the year off with, because there's definitely a lot of chaos. There's a lot of stress. There's a lot of insecurity. I have no idea what's going on. I am completely winging it, and I'm sure that you as students are as well. Just know that going forward, that any struggles that we're going through, anything in our lives that seem negative, they are. Okay, it's completely valid for you guys to be feeling however you are feeling right now. In this classroom, in our culture, it's not okay to compare our suffering. Okay, just because you have it bad, it doesn't mean that you don't get to complain about it, if someone else has it worse. So don't get stuck in that kind of thinking. And just remember what Carl Jung here says. In all chaos, there is cosmos. In all disorder, a secret order. So even though things are crazy right now, there's something behind it. There's meaning behind it. We just got to put it there. All right, so I start off every year by sharing my personal teaching pledge, and this is actually a homework assignment that I had to fill out while I was still in teacher school. And I read it really, really fast because it's basically like a book, and I don't want to waste any more of your time than I already am. So, as a teacher, I promise to be understanding, patient, and encouraging. Never shall I be demeaning or cruel. I swear to be attentive to my students and communicative with their parents. I'll always keep my classroom doors open for lunch, so anyone can find help with homework or life. I'll build professional relationships with my fellow teachers so I might learn from them and offer to listen to their own struggles. Each course will be taught with clarity. Each student will experience positive atmosphere whenever they walk through the doors of my classroom, because my mood, attitude, and love will foster such an environment. My work is to inspire a love of learning in all those that I teach. The short version of it is, I'm going to do my best. going to do my best as your teacher, and I'm also going to be expecting you to do your best. So that's just something I do every year. There you go. Oops, I'm getting ahead of myself here. So just a little breakdown here. Let me get rid of my face here in the corner. This is my family. You guys have already met Bailey. He's currently hanging out on the table here. This is my husband, Mr. Jones, Mr. Lance Jones. That's us in Japan. I think we're in Kyoto in that picture. This is my old man dog. We named him Medic after the Team Fortress 2 character, the Medic. This is my other cat. This is Zeus. He's an incredible mouncer, an incredibly capable outside cat. The only funny thing is that I can never take a decent picture of him. And so this is just a notoriously bad picture of him. I want to share it with you because he's a black cat. It's really hard to take pictures of black cats. They just look like black voids. Up here in the top corner, my husband and I, we got to go to Washington, D.C. over the summer despite the pandemic, which was definitely not a great idea. It was a lot of fun. But hopefully when times are better, you guys will have an opportunity to check it out for yourselves. And then down here at the bottom, this is my immediate family here. So you've already met Mr. Jones. This is my brother-in-law. This is Dylan. He lives with us, and yeah, that's my family. And also, most importantly, you might see this picture up here. This is our newest member of the family. Okay, that's little Mochi. She's still a puppy. I'll have to bring her in for a video sometime. She's adorable. She's a little corgi, and we love her. She's about 10 weeks old right now, and so she's crazy, and she is biting things, and she is peeing on the carpet, and I love her to pieces, but she's really annoying right now. But she's the cutest thing, so she can get away with it. She's very cute. I also have hobbies, so if you want to talk to me about these things, I'll be able to hold the conversation. I love stargazing, I love camping, I like hiking, I like painting, drawing, photography. You guys will get to know over the course that I like recreating medieval illuminated manuscripts. Talk more about that later. I also enjoy medieval combat archery, traveling, trying new food. I love reading, I love writing, I love snowboarding, and I love gardening. I have a vegetable garden in the back, and if it's outside, I can grow it pretty well. If it's inside my house, it dies. I don't know why I can't grow things indoors. It might be because I don't have any windows that really face the sun. I don't know. I'm still figuring that out. And here, let me get rid of my face. Down here, you can see I don't have too many dislikes. I'm not really big into organized sporting teams. I like the Clippers, but I don't think I can tell you who plays on them now. And I find cucumbers and white chocolate especially disgusting. That's just a personal dislike. Here are a few other pictures of my travels. I told you I like traveling, so I'm going to show off a few of the places that I've been. Growing up, we didn't really get to travel as much. We didn't really have the money for it. And then as I was a young adult, I still didn't have the money for it. I was going to college, spending all my money doing that. And so when I first started teaching, I could finally afford to go places, and these are a few of the places that I've been. I already told you that we went to Washington, D.C. over the summer. It was really nice. We got to be there for the 4th of July, so we got to see their fireworks display, which was absolutely incredible. This is Big Bear over down south, Big Bear Lake. This one of my favorite places in the world is definitely Yellowstone, over in Wyoming. I've been to Japan. I've been all around Japan. It was a lot of fun. I want to go back. And last summer, I got to go to Peru. And so you can see down here, I got to go see Machu Picchu. I got to climb to the Salcantay Pass, and that was like a 50-mile hike, which nearly killed me. It was way above what I was capable of at the time, but it was still a lot of fun and created a lot of important memories. So that's just a little bit about me personally. As far as professionally, my work experience, I graduated with my degree in English from California State University, Bakersfield. I finished my credential at the University of Laverne. I've been in the classroom for a long time. I used to be a long-term sub, and I used to teach economics along with English, kind of crazy. I survived 2 years as a 7th grade teacher, which They're cute, but it nearly killed me. I don't have the energy for 7th graders. Goodness. But it was still a lot of fun. I miss them. They're grown up. They'll be your age here pretty soon. And I taught 9th and 11th English at Arvin last year, and I absolutely love it. Absolutely love it. So we'll talk about our late work policy. So I'm pretty lax with my late work policy. It's pretty easy to go through. I accept late work until the last Friday before the end of the quarter. And so if you can get your work into me by then, you should be good to go. I do not deduct points from late work. But there is only one consequence if you turn in something past the due date. If you turn in something past the due date, you'll have to submit in a late work form, and we'll go over that later. I'll show you exactly where to find that and how to attach it to your work. Okay, and now I'm going to deviate from that PowerPoint and kind of go into another PowerPoint that I made. I just basically copied and pasted the slides from that onto here just to talk about my grading policy. Because my grading policy is very different. It is very unique compared to other teachers. I've done a lot of research into it, and I'm following all these new grading reform methods because it's important to me as your teacher that I grade you based on skill. Okay, I don't really care about your ability to play school. I don't care that you turn in things on time. I don't care that, well, I mean, I wish you would turn in things on time, but I'm not going to dock you points for turning in things late. I really want to see how you are growing in my content area, how you are growing in English. If you're getting better at it, if you're struggling in reading, writing, listening, speaking, and all those areas, that's where my focus is. And so because of that, grading is going to be a little different with me. So stay tuned. All right, what I'm looking for here is proficiency. And if you were to pull the definition out of the dictionary, you would know that, oh my gosh, I'm gonna turn my phone off. These are actually other teachers right now. This is the day before school starts, and everyone is freaking out about it. So it might be a little less rude if I put it on silent. I'm sorry, guys. Okay, no more distractions, right, Bailey? Okay. So like I said with grading, I'm looking at proficiency here. So proficiency, it's a noun. It means a high degree of competence or skill or expertise, and that's what I'm looking for in English. I want to see you guys be proficient in your literacy skills in reading, writing, listening, and speaking. Okay? My grading process is easy, it is accurate, and so my grades are mathematically sound. You can go back and make sense of them. They are bias resistant, and so a lot of times, especially in English courses, you know, a teacher's feelings can get in the way of the grade. That's not how it works like in my class. Okay, grades are based on valid evidence that you provide to me as a student. Okay, my feelings, my judgments, you know, I need to be able to back them up. And lastly, my grades are motivational, and I think this is really the important thing to understand here. The way that I do grading, it's going to push you to try harder. Okay, and so that's very, very important. I know when I was a student, I was not a good student. I really struggled. I was really lazy. You know, I was really smart. I would be able to pass the tests. But when it came to the issue of motivation, I was not a motivated student at all. And so my grades really suffered because of that. And as a result, I felt that I was stupid. I felt like, you know, I wasn't smart and I wasn't capable. And that's not what I want your grades to mean to you. I want you guys to be encouraged by your grades, and I want you to try harder because of them. And so that's the point here. So as we move forward through school, you're going to notice that I care very little about scores, and I care more about these two things right here: success criteria and feedback. Now understand when I talk about success criteria, this is basically all the stuff that I give you before an assignment is due. Okay, so this is me showing you examples of what I want. This is me telling you, giving you clear directions as to what you need to do and how you need to get there. And this also comes in the shape of rubrics, which we'll talk about here in a moment. And then when you learn all the material, you do all of the work, you take my success criteria, you read it, and then you produce something for me, then that's when I give you the most important thing here, which is feedback. This is where I grade your work. I look at it and I tell you what your strengths are and those areas in which you need to grow. And so combined together, you'll definitely grow more as an English student with a focus on feedback instead of number scores. The studies prove it. So when I talk about rubrics, you're going to see a lot of veggie burgers. And I say veggie burgers because I am a vegetarian. Although I'm not a very good vegetarian, I really don't care about eating meat. I mostly care about just not participating in the meat industry, but that's a conversation for another time. So usually I talk about, I compare your work to a veggie burger. And when I give you a rubric, you'll see you're either going to be labeled as a beginning, a developing, proficient, or an exceeds. So if you give me an essay and you just give me the bare minimum, it's not finished, it's not organized, you don't have it broken down into paragraphs, it's just a big wall of text, I'm going to compare your writing to just a bun. Okay? Like, you tried, you got the basics in there, but you really didn't go beyond that. Okay? You're missing the meat of the assignment of the task. Okay? If you hand me that essay and it is better organized, you have at least 3 paragraphs, okay, the spelling and the grammar can use a little work, I'll just compare your work to that of a plain hamburger. Okay, it's missing the cheese, it's missing all the delicious condiments, the mayo, the lettuce, whatever. However, if you give me exactly what I ask for, okay, if you give me a delicious looking essay with no grammar mistakes, it's organized, I'll say that, yeah, congratulations, you have the whole hamburger there. You have the whole veggie burger, which comes with everything that you want. The mayo, the mustard, who eats mayo on a burger? I don't like it. But you know what I mean there. You gave me the whole burger. You're good to go. That's what I'm expecting of you. But if you're one of those students that goes above and beyond, and you just don't give me an essay, but you give me a work of art, okay, you give me an essay that has, meaningful examples, that makes beautiful use of language, that has no grammar or spelling mistakes, that's something that you can frame and put on your wall, then I'm going to say, you're the whole combo meal, okay? You're the burger, maybe you're an extra meat patty, you're the fries, and you're the Coke, you got it, okay? And so that's really how our grading rubrics work in this class here. Our grading scale, I usually use the 4.0 scale. I don't usually give you like 100%. Studies show that when students look at grades, they don't really care about the feedback they're getting. They don't really care about their skills. They don't really care about growth. And so when I'm giving you feedback on Canvas, I'm never going to give you a number grade. On Canvas, all of your assignments will be marked either as complete or incomplete. And what I am instead going to do is I'm going to instead grade those meaningful assignments separately on the Synergy system. So on the student view that you guys have access to see your report card grades, that's where grades will be updated. And when I do update those grades, I'm going to be using this scale right here. I'm going to be using a 4.0 scale, and it looks like this. And so if if we have to connect it to an A, B, C, or D grade, if you have a 3.5 to a 4, you're going to have an A. If you have a 3 to 3.4, you have a B. If you have a 2.5 to 2.9, you have a C, and so on and so forth. And you guys will have access to this. I'll make sure of it. And so, yeah, just remember, we're doing grades in a brand new way. Not enough teachers, in my opinion, are doing it this way, but this is the way of the future. This is the way that studies are showing students show more growth. And like I said, I don't want to see that you guys can play school. I don't really care that you can turn things in on time if the things that you're turning in show that you're still struggling with the concepts I'm trying to teach you as your teacher. So hopefully that makes sense. And if you do have any questions, I'll show you here in a minute how you can ask me on Canvas, and I definitely love to clarify for you, because this is a lot of stuff and I'm giving it to you so fast. And this is still going to be a really long video, so please just bear with me here. Like I said, I'm checking for skills, and as a department, your English teachers, we got together and we highlighted all of the skills that our students should know on their way out of their grade by the end of the year. And so here, let me get rid of my face here for a second. And you can see that for my 9th and my 11th grade students, if you're in the 9th grade, we're looking to see that by the end of the year, you understand figurative language, basic essay structure, you can annotate articles, you can make summaries, and you can understand theme. Whereas if you're in the 11th grade, we're looking to see that you can make annotations with a rhetorical focus, so looking at arguments. We're looking to see that you can analyze literature, that you can make inferences or judgments from writing, that you can understand the audience and purpose of a writing, and that you can master the argumentative essay. Okay? Yes, the argumentative essay. So if you're one of my 9th grade students, you have that to look forward to way, way, way in the future. So relax. Almost done here. I think this is our last slide about grading. So here are some rules. This is how I'll be doing grading in my classroom. So each assignment will be graded using a rubric from the 0 to 4 scale. I already talked about that. Think of the hamburger. Assignments will be categorized by the skills. So when you look at the assignments on the grade book, you'll see that they're categorized by the skill that I'm focusing on. So if you're one of my 9th grade students, I might be focusing on the summary. Students will have an opportunity to retake or resubmit anything. Okay, any test, any written assignment. You are more than welcome to try and try and try again. The only thing that I need you to do for me is to meet with me, and we'll have like a one-on-one meeting. That way I know that when you try the second time, you're going down the right path, that you've gotten that feedback from me. Because like I said earlier, feedback is really important in this class. Oops, I'm getting ahead of myself here. Remember that late work forms are required for late assignments. And this last rule, which let me get rid of my face here. This last rule kind of throws people off, but it is mathematically sound to ditch the 0, okay? That doesn't mean that you can just not turn anything in. What it means is that if you fail to turn something in, it's not going to kill your grade, and it is not going to negatively impact you. Because that's the thing. If you record 0s in the grade book, studies show, the math shows that you're actually penalizing a student for something that's related to behavior. And remember, I don't want to grade you on behavior. I don't want to grade you on things that don't have to do with English. When it comes to your grade, I care about the content, I care about the skills, I care about the English, okay? All right? Right, Bailey? Yeah. Okay. There I am. So that's it on grading. Like I said, if you have any questions, you know how to reach me. Either contact me through the inbox, contact me on the chat, raise your hand. We'll go over that here in a minute. As far as behavior goes, there's academic behavior, and then there's behavior. So what I'm looking for is that, you're aware of your knowledge, you're aware of your beliefs about thinking. When I talk about metacognition, I'm talking about your ability to think about how you think. Okay, if you're highly metacognitive, then you really understand how you learn and how you grow. If you struggle with metacognition, you might have that fixed mindset that you hear teachers talk about all the time. But really what I want you to have is a growth mindset. What matters to me is your idea of your self-concept. So I want you to believe in yourself, and I want you to, believe in your abilities and everything that you're capable of. I want you to develop with how you self-monitor. I want you to be able to, practice those soft skills, be able to plan and prepare. I want you to be motivated, okay? I want you guys to develop strategies, especially when we're doing distance learning, because with distance learning, you guys need to rely on yourself now more than ever. Because we're not in the classroom together, it's really hard for me to be there for you and hold your hand and walk you through the process of learning every step of the way. With long distance learning, you gotta be capable on your own. You have to try harder on your own. You really need to rely on yourself more than you regularly would. And it's tough, and I'm here for you, and I'll do everything that I can. But just understand with the way things are, I'm pretty limited here. Also, I want you guys to check your own volition here. I want you guys to stay motivated, engage with the learning, no matter what. So that's academic behavior. With social behavior, these are just the basics that you learned in kindergarten. You need to be responsible with your verbal and physical interactions with peers and adults. You need to use appropriate language, which I understand can be very hard for some of us. Usually inside of my house, when I'm away from school, when I'm away from campus, I might use some language that I wouldn't use in front of my grandmother. But, right now I'm a professional. Right now I'm your teacher. Right now I have the ability as an adult to monitor what's coming out of my mouth and make it appropriate and right for school. And so I expect the same from you. Okay, I really don't care if you drop the F-bombs on your own time. You can do whatever. But in my class, in my Zoom meetings, and if we ever do get to see each other on campus in the future, okay, when you're in my domain, you have to keep it professional because these are skills that you're going to need as an adult. You need to show respect for property and materials. So the Chromebooks that you're using, okay, don't eat Cheetos and play on the Chromebooks at the same time. Okay, you need to maintain that property. You need to take very good care of it. Just in case there's another pandemic in the future where everyone needs to go home with a Chromebook again. We want to take care of our stuff. And if we ever do get to go back to my classroom, I expect you guys to treat my desks kindly. It's one of my biggest pet peeves. I can't stand it when kids sit on their desks because their butt is going where people's books and papers are supposed to be going. And also, those desks are really flimsy, and over time they just break. So don't sit on my desk if we ever get there. And also practice regular attendance. Okay, that's another one of those soft skills that you need to master in order to be an adult. Okay, you need to be on time. People need to be able to count on you. Okay, I'm counting on you. And yeah, these are the people that I got the slides from. And so those are some of the basics there, some of my school rules. Before I let you go and finish this entirely too long video, I'm going to go over Canvas and show you how to navigate through Canvas a little bit. Because if you're like me, this is new to us. And if it makes you feel any better, your first day of school is also going to be my first day of school. Not just as a teacher, but with California State University, Bakersfield, because I'm actually still going to school as a student. I'm currently getting my master's in education. And so after school on Monday, I'm going to go to college and do distance learning as a student. And it's going to be a long term for me. So bear with me. Be nice. Okay. So the example course that I'm showing you, this is for my first period class. My first period class, they're a group of juniors. And so for my one class of freshmen that's listening right now, things are going to look a little different on your end, but that's okay. If you have any questions, you know how to reach me. So you should be looking at something like this. And this is my student view, and so I don't have access to everything that you'll have access to today. But this first page that it'll take you to on the Canvas course, this is just my home page. And so here I have like a little note of welcome. I have my introduction video right here where I introduce myself. If you need to see any announcements that I make as a class, maybe some reminders on when late work is due or reminders on when big assignments are due, this is the button that you'll click to go there. This is a question and answer discussion board. So like earlier, if you have any questions about anything I have talked about so far, that's the link that you'll want to click on. And there is a forum there. And I encourage you to ask me questions there because all of your classmates will see it. And you might be asking a question that they have. And they will really appreciate it if you get that asked and answered for them on their behalf. Okay? This button right here, this is really important. This is our modules button. I'll go over that in a minute. The resource button, this is just a link to some resources that can help you out. I'll just talk about this right now. And so I'm down here at the bottom. So these resources, they're just some tools that can help you throughout the course. It tells you where you can find Google Drive, where you can use WordPress. It gives you access to some websites that can help you with research if down the road we're writing essays again. And it takes you to the Arvin High School Library, which is a big important thing. We'll talk more about that later. But anyways, that's the resource page. And then down here at the bottom, this will take you to our Google Classroom. And so everyone has their own Google Classroom. This one is for period 1. And a lot of the documents that I will assign to you, I will also publish here on Google Classroom. This is just like a workspace that you can use in order to get your work done. And so this is an easy way for you to find assignments, and you can see that I have all the assignments numbered according to the modules as you'll see them in Canvas. But understand, I'm not grading them here. Okay, this is where you work on your work. And then what you do is you publish that and you turn it into Canvas. That's where I'm grading your work. So back to Canvas. All right, and so, I'm not in the student view anymore. Here we are. So this is what you should be seeing. The side navigation here, it's basically those same buttons that are at the bottom. We have announcements. You can check your grades. You can see other people in the class. In order to get to class, you'll have to click this Zoom link, which, hopefully you found it already. But I have Zoom set on a reoccurring meeting, and it's like a daily reoccurring meeting. So it'll tell you that we're getting together on a Saturday or a Sunday. Just ignore that. We're only getting together for the days that we're scheduled to get together. So if you have me for a red day, we're only meeting for red days during that hour and a half that we're together. If you're with me on a white day, same thing. Now, let's talk about the modules. Now, because I'm a college student, because I'm doing distance learning as a college student, it was my goal to set up Canvas like you would see it in college. Now, obviously, the Pokemon, you wouldn't find that in college, but that's just a personal preference of mine. Some of your other teachers might be doing Bitmojis, which I personally don't like. Don't tell any of my colleagues that, but I've always hated Bitmojis. They're kind of creepy to me. I don't like how they look. And you're not going to find a Bitmoji in my class, so we'll leave it at that. But if you go to college, you'll see that most teachers, they organize their courses into modules, and that is how we are doing it here. I'm getting you guys ready for college, because you all are going to go to college or do something professional someday, and you'll probably have to take a Canvas course there. So this is what you should be seeing on your end. So this first module, this is just something that you'll see throughout the year. This is where you can go for help. And so this first page talks about where you can reach me. Okay, my name's there, my number, yada yada. Okay, if you have just a general question for me, this is where that link on the front page will take you. And so this is just a class question board, this discussion board. What you would do is you would hit reply here, and you would ask me a question. I would see it, I would reply to it, and hopefully that gets your question answered. Okay. Next, we have the welcome to your class. So this is really where my syllabus is. I didn't make an old-fashioned syllabus for you this year because you guys have enough to worry about. But right here, this is where I go over the class overview. And, I tell you about Canvas. This is our learning space. This is where we're doing things together. By the way, you can navigate through these modules with these buttons at the bottom. And so if we click next, we see the class schedule. These are the class schedules that everyone is following. So if you're my first period right now and this is the first day of class and you're watching this right now, it's probably between 8 and 9:30 in the morning. Okay, remember that we leave for lunch at 1 to 1:30, and then we have individual working time for the rest of the day. Here's those class resources. We already went over that page. It's worth checking out on your own time. That'll help you out. This is for your parents or your guardians, whoever is in charge of you. And what these resources do is it kind of gives them access to your grades. It tells them what to expect from Canvas, how they can support you on your learning through distance learning. It talks about some of my grading policies, my missed work policies. It talks about some of the tests. If you're in my 9th grade class, you don't see this right here because you don't have to worry about the SBAC. That's a junior level thing, so just ignore that. And then there are also some more school resources down here for your parents to peruse. We have the Kern High School District website, parent view, and resources for parents and guardians down there. Okay. I go over my grading policy, which I've already gone over with you in this very same video, but if you want to read more about that, it's right here. And it goes over the Berger rubric, and it also has it in Spanish. So I know a lot of you guys have parents that only speak Spanish. They would definitely want to read this. And then my late work policy. Now my late work policy, this is where you find the late work forms. So if you just don't have it together, or if you're running behind, you turn in something into me late, I am not going to consider putting it in the grade book unless it comes finished and it comes attached with a finished late work form. And so what you do is you make a copy of this document right here. It's real easy to do. I mean, the only consequence of turning things in late for me is that you have to do a tedious paper. This isn't fun. It's not supposed to be fun. Just turn in things on time and you don't have to worry about it. But, you know, if life gets too difficult, you need to turn in something late. You just follow the directions right here. You put in your name, your class period. You tell me, you know, why it's late. And then you give me a 100-word reason. This is not an excuse. You know, show me that you're an adult. Show me that you can take responsibility for your mistakes. Show me that you can admit when you're wrong. Don't make excuses here. I don't care about those. I don't. And then lastly, right here, tell me about your consequence. This can be no less than 50 words. And you can just write about how your consequence turning in something late is having to do this stupid late work form. That's fine. Check the boxes. Turn it all into me. You're good to go. All right. And I think that's it. So yeah, your module page would look like this. Ooh, we need to talk about our special interest blogs. So don't worry about the week of welcome. I'll go over that later. I'll go over that in our Zoom meeting. But so the bulk of what we're learning this year are going to be presented in these modules. And you guys only have access to the first module right now. I haven't made the other ones available to you yet. But what you'll do is you'll go through the module. You'll click it. This first one, this isn't finished because I'm recording the video that I'm putting in this right now, so you're not going to be able to see anything. But what it does is you'll go through the module and it'll give you step-by-step instructions, step-by-step lessons that you need to follow. As you're going through these, I will include other videos where I go over the directions or I explain things to you verbally. If you're someone who needs me to walk you through it, that's absolutely fine. And you'll just like how we were doing, you'll navigate through all the modules. You can use the next buttons at the bottom, which here, let me get rid of my face so you can see them. You'll navigate through here using the next buttons. And this is how you'll turn in work to me. And you'll see if you go to the module page that underneath every assignment, you can see where the due date is. You see that? And so make sure that you turn things to me on time. You can also check when things are due using your calendars. And for all my classes, I'm giving you guys like a nice 2-week cushion before things are due. The work for your first module, that'll all be due on September 7th. So get ready for that. However, another thing that we'll be working on through this quarter is your special interest blogs. These are really important. This is going to be an activity that we do alongside the modules. And usually in a classroom setting, what I would have you do is I would give you a spiral notebook, and you would use that spiral notebook to practice journaling activities. But in a long distance setting, it's really hard for me to hand you a spiral notebook and get it back and grade it. So instead, we're doing something different. Instead, we're making special interest blogs. And these are professional looking blogs that you would read anywhere else on the internet, and it has to do with something that you are passionate about. It has to do with something that you really care about. And I'm going to get out of the teacher, or I'm out of the student view so you can see what these look like, because I haven't published them to you yet. But you'll be given instructions. So you'll have to pick anything that matters to you. It can be a hobby, it can be a cause, it can be, any kind of activism or social justice movement that you want to support. You can focus on a historical period. You can focus on a specific country or culture. You can focus on a skill area, maybe something health related. If you want to make a blog about exercising, I can definitely learn something from that. Maybe there's a music artist or celebrity that you're especially interested in. You can do something that follows them and their lives and their passions. And what you're doing is you're finding something that you're passionate about, and you're sharing it with the whole class, and you're sharing it with me, and you're doing it in a blog. And what a blog is like a regularly updated journal, and it's just a way to connect with the world. And so I've actually given a few examples of my own blogs, my own special interest blogs that I just started to show you how it's done. And I use 2 platforms here. Okay, if you're one of my 9th grade students, I want you only using Google Sites because it's easier to work with. But if you're one of my juniors, you definitely have the option to use WordPress, which is a more difficult blogging platform to use, but you create something that looks a lot more professional. And it's my hope that with these blogs, maybe they can help you later on in your professional careers. So, if you're one of my Health Careers Academy kids and you want to create a blog that's focused on, the new innovations and technology that we're seeing right now in the medical industry because of COVID-19, okay, your future employers are going to be really excited to see you get together this really polished looking blog, and they're going to be excited to read what you have to say on that, and it's definitely going to help you later on in life. And so, don't just look at this like an assignment. Look at this as a way to step up later. Well, at least that's what my hope is. And so on this first page, I have my instructions. I go over what I expect of you. Down here is a rubric. And, remember, I don't give you scores. I tell you if you're beginning, developing, proficient, or exceeds. And so, I'm going to be grading you on your structure for the whole blog. I'm going to be grading you on content, and I'm going to be grading you on web design, because as a reader, I should be reading a blog that is exciting to me. Okay? And so, yeah, if you're a junior, you have access to WordPress, and later on I'll show you the instructions for doing that. It's really important that you follow those instructions, because WordPress is one of those websites that really tries to trick you into paying for it, but it should be all free. Okay, if you have to type in your credit card information for anything, stop what you're doing, raise your hand, talk to me, get my attention, and I'll help you through it. So here's just a blog that, oh, okay, hold on. Here's an example of my Google Sites blog. And so my special interest is in making those old medieval style illuminated manuscripts. And this is just a hobby of mine that I have that I want to share with you. It seems kind of weird, so I figured why not highlight it. But anyway, so I go over some of my past work that I've done. My opening page, I have examples of my work. For my blog, because Google Sites is not a blogging platform, what you're going to do is you are going to embed a separate Google Doc into the blog. That way I can just scroll down through the Google Doc and read your writing there. Does that make sense? We'll go over that later. Don't worry about it right now. And then there's portfolio. And then I also made one of these blogs on WordPress. Like I said, this was way more challenging. It was harder to figure out for me. So if you feel like you're really tech savvy, if you're confident in your skills on the internet, I highly encourage you to use WordPress, because this is the more professional platform. You just have to be careful that you don't pay for it. Don't pay for anything. Everything should be free. And so it's the same blog. I copy and paste the same the same writing on this one as well as my Google Sites one. So that's definitely worth checking out on your own time. So anyways, yeah, so that module goes over the special interest blog. One of the first assignments that you're going to do in my class is to tell me what that special interest is, and you are going to share it with me on a discussion page that looks like this. And so you will reply, you will tell me what your special interest is, you'll make sure that you do all of this. You'll tell me what topic you'll be exploring. You'll tell me who your intended audience is. Tell me, do you want kids reading your blog? Do you want adults? Do you want medical professionals? Whatever works for you. You need to give me a link to the account, of course. I need to be able to find it and read it. You need to tell me about the topic, and you need to tell me what time you will update your blog every week. Because, the thing about blogging is that you have to be consistent. Okay, readers don't want to work with an irregular schedule. They want to know that you update your blog every Sunday night. So every Sunday night they can go to your blog and they can read it and not be disappointed because it hasn't been updated in 3 weeks. Okay, that's one of the bigger deals here for this assignment. You have to be consistent, and you have to update this thing regularly, like a professional. Because that's what we want to be. We want to be professionals. Right, Bailey? Maybe it's not professional to have my pets in the Zoom calls. I don't know. I don't think you guys mind. Thank you. Okay. So, I think that's about it. So yeah, I go over the instructions for using Google Sites. If you're a freshman, this is the only set of instructions you'll get from me. If you're a junior, you'll also get the ones for WordPress. If you are a ninth grader and you're really excited about using WordPress, talk to me. I'll work with you. I'm not really picky about that kind of stuff. It's just more challenging. It's just a lot of work. So be prepared for that. And I think that pretty much covers it. You know, like I said, this is going to be a really weird year for us. This isn't what we've expected. I think everyone was expecting to be back in the classroom by the fall, yet, you know, here we are. And so, you know, I just want to applaud you all for being so flexible and being so willing to learn in this new, strange world. You know, back in the past, I used to make jokes about how, you know, I would love to just mute my students in the middle of class because they were talking too much. And, you know, I expected that someday we would go into virtual learning, but I always thought it would be like 20 years into the future, not 2 months. And so now here we are, and I don't know how I feel about that. You know, I'll be honest, you know, I'm really sad that I can't see your faces in person. You know, I would love to be teaching you, but at the same time, I want you and your families and everyone to be healthy as well. So in the meantime, if you have any questions for me, this was a lot of information for me to just throw at you all in one sitting. I'm exhausted. I need a drink of water. My throat's a little dry, so I think we're good. I think I'm going to go ahead and stop the video and have a wonderful day, and I look forward to being your teacher this year. All right, bye.